What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Existential Stoic podcast. This is a quick fix, a short episode. We're going to explore one self-help topic. Today, we're going to talk about getting out of your comfort zone. I'm Danny. I'm here with my buddy Randy. What's up,
Hey,
Randy?
Danny.
So, getting out of your comfort zone. Why cover this, you think?
Well, you can either be comfortable or uncomfortable. And I know that
That is
everybody
true.
in life nowadays is focused very much on comfort. We have a comfort culture, but that kind of neglects half of life being uncomfortable. So getting out of your
Yeah,
comfort zone opens up the other half of life.
it does. And comfort's funny too, because it's one of those things where it's like a trap in a way, where you get stuck in comfort and you get more sensitive to discomfort, and then you don't want to do anything, right? And I think that's also part of the problem is you get to a point where you just don't do anything new, and then things won't progress or get better or anything. Yeah,
Mhm.
so let's get into it then. So getting out of your comfort zone. I'm gonna go first. So my first one is actually, I think, a fun one, which is hobbies. I think people forget that these are low stakes way to try new things and really learn new skills. And I think they're great because, you know, it's been proven that, having a hobby helps you actually, it's problem solving, in your regular life or job or career or whatever you do. But the other end of it too is, it's low stakes, it's fun. You get to try new things and you get to actually realize new skills, which makes you feel better about discomfort and, really getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
Not to mention the potential to where it could lead you. So, like trying
Yeah.
something that you've always wanted to do, you might go to a class, you might meet somebody, it might open up something in your life. Or, like, for example, I like to paint these little miniatures for fun. And it turns out that there's a whole bunch of people on YouTube who now do that for a living. And, like,
Yeah.
all of them, they're all saying, like, I can't believe this is something that I do for a living. Because before it was
Yeah.
just something you did for fun. But, like, it opens up opportunities by stepping out of your comfort zone and trying those hobbies. Because had they have never tried to paint and post on YouTube, never would have happened.
I love that too about now that like literally anything you do, there is like a thing, community, which is good though, because it's like a lot of times you do stuff by yourself and it's not always easy to figure out like new techniques or things. And it's like, it's great. It
Dude,
is
and they have
really
videos with
cool.
over 1 million views. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
So a lot of people are painting.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Or at
That's
least
awesome.
watching it. I
Yeah.
think it's probably like that ASMR stuff where they're like tapping microphones or whatever. I think it's probably like Bob Ross of little miniatures. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. So
relaxing.
yeah. But my first one is to get to become comfortable with discomfort. So this is something that I've always tried to ingrain in myself, becoming comfortable with discomfort, because discomfort's going to happen. Like there are so many instances in your life where you've been uncomfortable, but learning to be comfortable with that, and even if it's not comfortable, like learning to endure it. And I think that's an important talent, and that's something that we kind of talk about with stoicism, is just like learning
Yeah.
endurance and patience, because this discomfort's not going to last forever. It's going to come, it's going to pass. But like being able to be there with it and just endure through it is a very valuable skill.
Yeah, a lot of people use, like cold showers as a way to sort of just like, it's nobody likes taking a cold shower, but it's going to end, it's going to end. It's not like it's forever. And it's a good way to sort of start teaching yourself to kind of endure and just get through it and not experience it in such a negative way, right? I
Mm-hmm.
like that one. It's a good one. My second one is identify and acknowledge what causes discomfort. So, Epicurus thought that, most of our fears are tied to ignorance. And so it's really like a lot of times when we're uncomfortable, we need to acknowledge it, first of all, but also then we can use that as a way to then find out, and learn about whatever's causing that discomfort. And that's a way to overcome it, right? It's like the idea of like, once you acknowledge something, you kind of take its power away, right? You
That's
reduce the strength it has over you. Yeah.
that's a great point. Like name the dragon and it disappears. And
Yeah.
you see that all over, especially in finances, different things like that. Like people all say they want to be rich, but they have no idea where their money's coming and going. So like the first step of any financial program is figuring out where you are. And it's kind of like naming the discomfort. Once you name it, then you can actually, attack it. But until then, it's just this nebulous discomfort.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. My next one is challenge yourself regularly. So you already mentioned the cold showers, and that's a great way to do it. Uh, I actually did that for a long time, and then when the hot water heater broke, I could still shower every day because I was used to cold showers. And it was like the middle of January, freezing cold, but everybody else couldn't shower during that time. So it came. What was a difficulty turned
Oh,
into an advantage during that time.
that's
But
the hardest time to do it too, man, when it's cold out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But also there are other things you can do like fasting. I mean, a lot of us take eating for granted, and it's just like a little challenge. Not eat for one day a week because there are a whole bunch of benefits. Like it resets your appetite, your body's able to heal itself, but also it like builds up that endurance through difficulties that because you're uncomfortable. It's not fun to not eat, like you get hungry and you can't stuff food in your face. But it's learning to become comfortable with that discomfort and stepping outside of your comfort zone.
It's funny. I was just thinking about this. You know how like in with plants, a lot of times, like it's beneficial for plants to cause stress to them in a lot of cases to get better harvest, whatever you're trying to harvest. And I think it's interesting, we forget that we're like natural beings too, a lot of times. And like nature has a lot of these lessons there for us that you become more resilient, become stronger when you do this. And I think that's important. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I think they
Um,
even mention in Anti-Fragile, Nassim Taleb's book, how some of the societies where fasting was like a built into their diet, either for religious reasons or other, they ended up being like hardier and having longer lifespans and different things like that.
yeah. It makes sense though. Yeah, you're not as sensitive to all these changes that other people become so sensitive to. I like that one. My last one is, exercise, like incorporating a routine, I think that's a good way too to just, endure through something. It's something difficult. It's something that you kind of have to force yourself to do at first, but you start to see, the benefits of it, of that discomfort over time. You see yourself getting stronger, easier to get through those routines, and you can build on it from there. And I think that's a good way to sort of think about this because so often I think the physical and the mental are kind of very similar in how we can develop and how we can progress.
Yeah, exercise is a good one because like no matter how much you exercise, it's always a little bit uncomfortable to like either get outside on that cold rainy morning or to get all your stuff together to go to the gym even though you're really tired that day. Like it always pushes you outside of that comfort zone. And oftentimes you're rewarded with dopamine and serotonin and all that stuff, but like it always regularly pushes you outside of the comfort zone no matter how long you've been doing it, how good you are at it.
Yeah, I remember when I was lifting a lot too. It's funny because it's like it always sucks. I mean, it really does. It's funny, but it's like it's after the fact that it's so great. But it's like it's a really interesting like, kind of relationship. But it helps you deal with so much more. I think after that, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is. It's funny.
Yeah. So my last one is the 1,000-time mental simulation, or I think you call it negative visualization, something like that, where like anytime you have an uncomfortable scenario, to just replay it in your mind 1,000 times. And what would you be like at that 1,000th time? Would it be that uncomfortable? So, like, for instance, a lot of people won't do stuff because they'll get embarrassed. They would be uncomfortable being embarrassed, like, oh my goodness, making a fool of themselves. Well, imagine that happens to you 1,000 times and like actually sit down and go through it. And this is something that I'll oftentimes do when I have difficult things to kind of get over, or maybe I'm angry about a situation, just going over it again and again and again, being like, okay, this isn't my first time anymore. This is the second time. Okay, the third time. How about the 10th time? How about the 100th time? And after a while, you get to be like, okay, well, like after a while, it doesn't matter that much. And you start to see that now instead of having to wait for it to happen 1,000 times.
Yeah, I love that one too because it is really such a useful, practical tool. You can do it anywhere, and it emphasizes the power that we have with our imagination to kind of go through these things and imagine what they'd really be like, and also just the fact that yeah, once something happens that often, you would just stop caring, right? You've become desensitized to it over time very quickly, and this way you can make it happen right now instead of waiting for 1,000 iterations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So getting out of your comfort zone, right? So this is the quick fix. You guys should all be able to get uncomfortable and comfortable with discomfort now. check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the podcast apps. Like, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. We'll be back at the end of the week with another full-length episode, the first episode of season 2. Until then, later, Andy.
Later, Jamie.